Finally tonight is when we asked Nick Ferrari to take us to his favourite part of the capital. A trip to a sewage works to see a collection of toilets was not what we had in mind. A Londoner through and through, the LBC host grew up in Eltham and got his first job at a local paper in Woolwich. 40 years later, he's still working in journalism and living in the capital and says he wouldn't have it any other way. Here's why Crossness Pumping Station in Greenwich is his little bit of London.
From the outside, it poses a lonely figure, seemingly abandoned, dark, and occasionally still smelly. But on the inside, it's like a cathedral.
Wow, Nick, this is amazing. Although I do have to ask you your favourite bit of London, and you've taken me to a Victorian sewage pumping station.
Well, precisely.
Is everything all right?
Yeah. I have actually got a lot of problems, and I wonder if I could. No, now just take a look. Now this architecture, almost the design of a cathedral. Yeah. It almost has that feel. So I brought you here, and thank you very much, because effectively my whole career and also my whole family is rooted not in sewage plant but in this area. So I was a local paper reporter in Woolwich, and I came here 40 years ago when I was first in the job in the business. And I remember you get the assignment from the news desk, Nick, you're off to a sewage plant. Oh my God, I'm doing well in this job, aren't I? And I turned up, this is fantastic. It is classic Victorian architecture. That's why I brought you here.
It is amazing. And have you been back since?
No.
So you haven't been here in 40 years?
No, and I left the car outside and it's still there. So it's good. Hell of a parking ticket to pay, but apparently you're going to do that. I'm most grateful.
Nick told me that the Crossness Pumping Station is part of London's Victorian sewage system, created by Joseph Bazalgette following the Great Stink, when the Thames had become an open sewer.
I think the exhibition, as I came in, they have a great stink. Yeah. I mean, honestly, kids, if this doesn't appeal to boys and girls of a certain age, if they don't get a laugh coming down here, I'd be staggered.
Can you imagine what London must have been like in the Great Stink?
Well, I was around, actually. I just... No, absolutely horrific.
The job of the pumping station was to lift the sewage that had flowed there up 40 feet into a reservoir and then release it into the Thames as the tide went out. The system helped London fight cholera and has stood the test of time.
Even people in London now who are getting held up on roads by the Chelsea Hospital, that's to replace what this and all this have been doing for more than 100 years.
It's just incredible, isn't it?
Right, let's take it down here. Next stop, to head down into the heart of the station. A gloomier, rather unappealing place to work.
All I can think, Nick, is how horrific this must have smelled back in the day.
And I know I've been told by young Bob, who works here, which I think that is the level of the River Thames.
Really?
Yeah, outside there, yeah.
As that young journalist, Nick got his sewage story out and has never looked back. He currently does the breakfast show on LBC, a Londoner through and through. And here's why he loves this city.
By and large, Londoners have proved themselves to be the most resilient, the most tolerant city on earth. And I was reminded, and I was not a fan of Ken Livingstone, who was the previous mayor, but I remember the London bombing. And he gave a speech, and it still makes the hairs stand up on the back of my... And I say again, I wasn't a fan of his things, but he said of London, there is a spirit of Londoners. We will mourn, and we will bury the ones we've lost, but we will come back, and we will come back bigger, and we will come back better, and the Olympics will be in their memory, and that's what London's about.
Would you ever want to be a mayor of London?
No, they can't afford me. I cannot possibly take the pay cut, and I think London has suffered enough. Yeah.
We finished the tour in an area I couldn't resist, the loo exhibits.
Which is your favourite?
I'm probably going to... this looks like a brute. The Shanks Reliable system. Yeah, we tried the unreliable model. It didn't go very well. When we rebranded it Reliable, we sold a lot more.
I can now say without doubt that Crossness is an unexpected delight and Nick Ferrari's little bit of London.
I think Sally quite enjoyed that.